Welcome to episode 1258 of the Multifamily Collective. Today I wanted to talk about, well, first and foremost, a shout out to Barbara Savona from Sprout Marketing for recommending this book, for 4,000 Weeks, Time Management for Mortals by Oliver Berkman. Thank you, Barbara. Recommend the book. You're an influencer. Wanted to talk about, not necessarily what is in this book yet, because I've not read it enough to give a good solid opinion about what I think. But I do want to express to you something that I think is very valuable as it relates to reading. And for those of you who've watched these videos over the years, you know that I have a rather large library and that I do love reading. And I do think that I get a lot out of the books that I do read. Now, here's the reason why I get a lot out of the books that I do read, is because I practice this thing called marginalia. I think of a book like having a conversation, even though it's a one-way, in some case, or in some respects, a one-way conversation with the author. So even though the author is not there to respond to my responses, it's still the author says something and I'm able to respond to that, and I do so in the marginalia, or in the margins of the book. Those thoughts are sometimes in agreement with the author, and many times they are not in agreement with the author. But I can write my thoughts out in the margin. I can go back at a later date after I've had an opportunity to read the entire book and to set it aside for, who knows, sometimes I set it aside for a week, sometimes I set it aside for a month. But when I go back to that book, one of two things happen. I really get deeply entrenched, or those thoughts get further imbued into my mind, those things that I am in agreement with, and or sometimes those things that I am coming around to agreement and or further entrenching myself in the fact that I don't like what the author said. But through that exercise, I'm able to glean facts and information that I can use at a later date, be it here in these daily videos, and or in conversations that I have with my team, and or in talks where I'm standing before audience, whether it be internal to the team or external in different venues. I can express those ideas in a fashion that seems a little more grounded, or a little more to the point. So my encouragement to you is twofold. Pick up this book. I've read enough to say that I like it, but not enough to give you a real firm, solid opinion of the literature. It's endorsed by some pretty interesting names here on the back, plus Barbara. And the other thing is to get comfortable with writing in your books, because I think that's where you get, or a notebook. If you don't want to write in the book, get a notebook and write thoughts down if you're not doing that already. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.